Hello, this is Dr. Tracy Reddish, Special Assistant to the Dean for Technology in the Bagwell College of Education. In this particular video, I will show you how to complete Step 1 of creating an electronic portfolio in Digital Measures. Step 1 involves entering your data and documents into Digital Measures, or as I like to say, getting all of your artifacts and your evidence for your portfolio into Digital Measures. Basically, uploading all of your electronic files. So let's get logged in. Now the URL for Digital Measures is digitalmeasures.kennesaw.edu. And when you click on that, it will take you to this particular screen. Now at this screen, you're going to log into the Activity Insight module of Digital Measures. So we're going to click on it and then enter your NetID and your password to get yourself logged in. This screen should look familiar to you because this is a screen where we enter all of our activities for our ARD, our annual review document, and our FPA. So for example, under the teaching section, we go into the teaching section to enter all the information about all the courses that we teach under scheduled teaching. Under the scholarship and research section, we go to intellectual contributions to add our publications. And if you scroll down to service, we go to the service for our department to add all sorts of activities that we provide for our service and all sorts of activities that we provide for our college, the university, and for our profession. So this screen should be familiar to you. So in Step 1, you are actually going back into your activities, and in some cases you may need to add new activities and add the artifacts or the electronic files that you plan to include in your portfolio, what would normally be Binder 2. For example, we will go into scheduled teaching and we will add a syllabus and we'll add our student evaluations. We will go into intellectual contributions and we will add an acceptance letter to a journal. We will go into service to our department and add some of our program coordinator accomplishments and service to the college and include a thank you letter for serving on a committee. So you can add any file that you possibly want or need to, and you just have to have it associated with an activity. And so you have lots of activities in there already from doing your annual review. But if you happen to need a new one, you have an artifact that you haven't thought about before, haven't entered an activity for, then you just create a new activity. So let's begin. See how this works. So we're going to scroll back up to General Information. All right, and down under Teaching, we have Scheduled Teaching. I'm going to click on that, and it lists all of your courses that you've taught. So under the first course, I want to add the student evaluations and the syllabus. And you would probably want to do that for most of the courses that you teach. So I'm going to click on the first course, scroll down a little bit to where it says Upload Evaluation Results. And I'm going to choose a file and go out and find my iTech 9900 student evaluations. The most important thing you can do once you click on the file is scroll over and make sure you tell it to include the file for the portfolio review. If you don't check that box, later when you generate a list of your artifacts, that file is not going to show up. So it's imperative that you include that check mark. Now I also want to include my syllabus. So I'm going to scroll on down where there's a box for additional files, and I'm going to include the syllabus for this course. And I'm going to simply click on Choose File and go find the iTech 9900 syllabus. And again, I have to check the box that says include the file for the portfolio review. Very, very important to remember that. You could add additional files by selecting another row and adding it, but I don't have anything else I need to add for this particular course. So I will go up to the top right and click on Save. And then it takes me back to all the other courses. And I would proceed through the different classes, adding my syllabi, my student evaluations, if that's what I wanted to put in my portfolio. You may want to put different documents in there, and it's up to you what you decide to put in your portfolio. Those were just a couple of examples. So let me go back to Manage Activities. So we've added a few things under Teaching. Now, let's say we received an acceptance letter to a journal article, and we've already entered the journal article. So I clicked on Intellectual Contributions, and it has the different articles and things that I've done. And I'm going to click on the first one because I want to upload the acceptance letter. So this is an article I've already put in. Had I not already put it in, then I would have clicked on New and just created a new activity. Then I scroll down near the bottom, and it has a place for you to upload files. I simply choose the file, go in and find my letter of acceptance to the journal, and most importantly, I have to click Include the file for the portfolio review. Otherwise, this will not show up later when we need it to. Okay, and then I scroll back up to the top and click on Save. All right, and I'm going back to Manage Activities. So now I've added an acceptance letter for an article under Intellectual Contributions. Now I think I will go up under Service to my department and enter some of my program coordinator accomplishments. I'm the program coordinator for the conversion program. So I'm going to click on that, and I actually have an entry, an activity already added for the conversion program coordinator. So I'm going to click on it, scroll down to where the files are, choose a file, go out and find my program coordinator accomplishments, and make sure that I click on Include File for Portfolio Review. So it's very, very simple. You just go into each activity and enter your files, that the files are associated with that particular activity, and then you save. And you would just continue doing that for all your different activities. And again, if you need to add a new activity, you just click on Add New Item. All right, so let me go back out and let me add one more. Service to the college. I served on a search committee. I was the chair for the director of iTeach. So let me click on that, and I will add a thank you letter I received for doing that. Scroll down and choose File and see if I can find my committee thank you letter. I have to make sure once I get the file in there that I click on the box to include the file for the portfolio review. And then I simply click on Save. All right, and then I'll go back out to Manage Activities, and I could just keep going back in and adding activities and or artifacts by just uploading those files and making sure I tell it to include it in the portfolio. There's no restriction on the file type that you can upload, and there's no restriction on the total amount of storage. So you have lots and lots of storage, so you won't run out of space. The only constraint is on the size of an individual file, but from what I understand, it's pretty large, so we probably don't have to worry about that. Okay, so step one is entering all of your files, and I think you should by now have a good idea of how to go into the different activities and upload a file and click the box to include it in your portfolio.